How you doing, everyone? It's Kevin. I'm back with another video. Today we're going to be changing the air filter, the oil filter, and the oil in a B Series Kubota tractor, step by step, so anybody can follow along. I hope you enjoy the video. Let's get started. Okay, here on the table I have the filters and the oil that we're going to be using. We're using a 10W30. This is a Rotella oil and it's for diesel engines. Also, here is the air filter. Now, I know that sometimes you can take these numbers and you can cross-reference these numbers through like Napa or another company that sells filters. And they'll give you, you can get a cheaper, like off-brand filter. So personally, I'm going to use what Kubota wants me to use because my tractor is still under warranty. And I'm going to use whatever they say because I don't want to void the warranty. So this is the air filter that we're going to be installing on our B2301. And if you have a B2301 and you need to know the number on this filter, right there it is. Also, you can do the same thing with your Kubota oil filter. You can cross-reference these numbers and you can get a cheaper filter. But like I said, due to warranty and that, I'm going to use what they tell me to use. That way it doesn't void my warranty. So I think what we'll do is we'll get started off with the air filter first. That's the easiest. Let's get it done and over with, and then we'll get on to the oil. Now, if you're standing in front of your machine, facing your machine from the front, your air filter is here on the left-hand side on the top. This is a pretty simple process here. I'm going to show you. Everything's made to come out. You can see this little piece of foam that seals the hood. It's made to come up. There's a reason for that. So when you get ready to pull your filter out, don't try to pull it straight out of there. It's in a clip here. Pull your filter up, like so. You can see the little flap came up, and it came right out of there very easily. You don't have to do it down there. The hoses are made to bend, so you can pick your filter up. You have a clip on one side, and directly on the other side is the same clip. All you have to do is pull back, and your air filter is loose there. Pull back on your bottom one, and now you can take your cover off. And that exposes our filter down in there. We'll go ahead and take this filter out. As you can see, it's pretty dirty. These tractors push dirt, and there's a lot of dust and stuff that they go through. So yeah, you want to make sure your filter, you keep a clean filter in it. Now there's another filter in here also, which I'm not going to change. This filter here hardly ever gets dirty. There's not much that can get to it. So we're going to leave this filter in here for right now. And what we're going to do next is we're going to get a damp rag. Alright, now what I mean by a damp rag is get your rag wet as you can, and then I want you to wring it out and get all the water you can possibly get out of this rag. So now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull this filter back out, and we're going to take our damp rag, and we're just going to wipe the inside of this out. We're going to get any dust that might be in there out. And you can see how dirty that is. It's pretty dirty. Then we're going to slide this back in here. Now I'm going to check the inside of this. There's a little, this is to bleed off anything that might get in there. Say water got in there or anything. You want to take that. As you can see, there's a stink bug that fell down in there. We're going to go ahead and make sure there's no debris inside this hole. We may take an air compressor and blow it out a little bit, but we also want to take our damp rag and just wipe the inside of that out. Any dust that might be down in there, we want it out. Actually, you can just pull this guy off and wipe down in here real good, and we'll clean that out with this damp rag. As you can see, our little piece here is quite clean now. So now, once we got all that cleaned up, we can go ahead and snap this back on the bottom, like so. And we're going to let this air dry for just a little bit, and then we're going to put our filter back in. Now that our housing is good and dry, we're going to go ahead and slide our filter right down inside of here. And we're going to give it a twist. It doesn't walk in, we're just trying to get the rubber seated up on the rubber that's inside there. When we put the cover on our air filter, there's a mark right here that says up, and that's so this can drain if anything gets inside of here. So we're going to make sure that's up and go ahead and place our filter cover on with our arrow pointing up. I'm going to latch the one on the bottom first, then I'm going to latch the one on the top. Simple. You can see how these work. And now all I have to do is pull up on this little flap, push my filter back down in there, snaps into place, and we have successfully changed our air filter. Now what I like to do, now that I got the filter in there, is to try to wipe some of the dust off of everything while it's open and we know we're cleaning it. It's nice to have it fairly clean. So that's changing the air filter. We're going to go ahead and get started on the oil and the oil filter. Alright, we're going to get started on the oil filter here. If you're setting on the machine at the steering wheel, it's going to be on the left hand side. If you're setting at the machine and you're wanting the air filter, it's going to be on the right hand side. Now there's a cover right here over top of this side where our filter is. It's really simple to take this cover off. All you have to do on the front of it is pick up on the front and slide straight out, and your cover comes off just like that. Okay, right down in here, you can see I put my hand on it there. That is your oil filter. So now we're going to need a pan to put underneath of this so we can catch any oil that falls out of that filter when we take it off. Okay, what I have here is an oil pan, and I wanted to clean my oil pan as much as I can. That way if there's anything in the bottom of it when I drain it out of the motor, the oil out of the motor, I'll know it came from this machine. Now if you don't have an oil pan, you can just cut yourself off a nice 5-gallon bucket. Make sure it's good and clean inside, and a 5-gallon bucket will work just the same as this guy here. So I'm going to put this underneath of where the filter is up in here. I'm just going to slide it there so it'll catch any of that oil that comes out of that filter when we take it off. Alright, so now we have our oil filter wrench right here. We're going to go ahead and slip it over top of our oil filter. It's a little tight in here because there's a hose right here, and it's really tight to that hose right there. And we're going to go ahead and break your filter loose. Once you get it pretty loose, you should be able to turn it by hand. Now a little bit of oil is going to drain out, but there's not much you can do about that. Just get our filter off. You can see the oil dripping down through there. Alright, now we have our filter off. Now that our filter is off, I'm going to take a clean rag and I'm going to wipe around the edge. There's oil and stuff on that edge where that seal is. We want to wipe that off. Clean that up real good. Now here is our old filter. And what we want to do is we want to wipe this top off here a little bit. Just a little bit. And we want to make sure that rubber right there is on there, because if this rubber right here sticks to your tractor and you put your new filter on there, it's not going to seal up and you're going to blow all your oil on the ground. So make sure that your rubber seal is still on your oil filter. Pull the plastic off of our filter. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a little bit of oil. I'm going to pour just a little bit down in there. It don't have to be a lot. I'm not going to fill it all the way up, because it's probably going to drain out on me anyhow. And I'm going to rub some of that oil that's on the inside here on that little rubber piece right there. We need just a little bit of oil on that rubber. Right like that. So now that we got some oil on there and we wiped off the housing, we can go back over there and put it back on. Just making sure everything's wiped off good and clean up in there. Now we'll take our new filter, set it up on there. Make sure you don't cross thread it. You don't want this thing cross threaded. You want to put it back on there, and it's a little tight because of that hose right there. I'll try to pull that hose away from it a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and screw it all the way in. Okay, I think that's about as tight as I can get it with my hands. We'll come back to this and check it for leaks. Alright, now up under your tractor you're going to see two plugs. One there and one there. Those are your oil plugs. I'm using a 15mm ratchet and a socket, and it seems to me like it fits a little loose on there. The only thing is, I tried the 9/16 and it won't fit. 5/8 is too big. 14mm won't fit either. So now what you want to do is have you a rag handy, because you're probably going to get some oil on your fingers. We're going to drain that one, and we're going to drain this one here. Okay, setting on your tractor on the left hand side right behind the air filter is your dipstick. We're going to go ahead and pull that dipstick out. That way some more air will let that flow through the motor. Let that oil flow out the motor. Okay, our oil is done dripping. So we're going to wipe that off just a little bit. And we are going to take our bolts and make sure our little brass bushing is on there, or copper bushing. And we're going to go ahead and get these screwed back up in here. Now you want to screw these as far as you can by finger. Tighten them first. That way you know you're not cross-threaded on there. If you can put it on with your fingers, then it's not cross-threaded. Making sure your bushings, your little seals are on there. Now take your wrench and go ahead and tighten your bolts up. Do not strip these, and don't over tighten them. You just want to get them snugged up to where they're not leaking. You get them too tight, you could possibly strip them. Now after tightening them up, we wiped them off with a rag to make sure there's no oil on these. Because when we fill it up with oil, we're going to check these, and we're going to rub over them with our finger and make sure there's no oil on them. So go ahead and slide your oil, the old oil, out to the side so you can get a hold of it on the other side of your tractor. Alright, take a clean rag and wipe your dipstick off. Once you get your dipstick wiped off, go ahead and place it back into the motor where it goes. And then right on the top of your motor, you're going to see a big bolt right there. It's right behind this hose, right there. Just go ahead and pull that bolt out. And you can do this by hand. So we pulled that out. Right there is where we're going to put our oil in this motor. Now for this part here, you want to make sure you have a clean funnel. If your funnel's not clean, make sure you clean it out, wipe it out really good. Go ahead and stick your funnel down in that hole on the top of there, right down in there. Now we're going to take our oil, get our cap off here. We're going to turn our jug upside down so the handle is facing down, okay? And then we're going to go ahead and start pouring our oil in here. I really don't know exactly how much it takes because I didn't check the book to see. So we put about 3/4 of a gallon in there. We'll go ahead and pull our dipstick out. And we'll see what it registers on the dipstick. And we'll continue doing that as we put the oil in. It's definitely low. Now what I'm going to do is go ahead and pull this funnel out of here. And we're going to put our cap on here. It says we're a little bit over full with 1 gallon in there. We're going to let that set for a minute or two, and then we're going to start the tractor up and let it get the filters full and all the inside of the engine. Then we're going to check the oil again. So it's been a few minutes. We're going to go ahead and fire the tractor up and let that oil fill up the oil filter and the rest of the motor. It's not going to take much. We'll pull our dipstick out. Wipe it off and go ahead and put it back down in and pull it right back out. And we are just a little bit over, just a little bit. I don't think that's going to hurt it. I really don't like being over at all. So maybe if you're doing yours, maybe go almost a gallon. You can see where it's at there on the dip. It's just right there. I think that's going to work out for us. Now we want to make sure that there's no leaks around our oil filter here. And ours looks really good. And then we're going to go underneath. And we're going to check our bolts again to make sure we don't get any oil on our finger. If we don't get any oil on our finger, those guys are sealed up good too. So we got the hours and we have the date on that filter. So we know that we did the oil and the air at the exact same time. Alright, that's how you change the air filter and the oil and oil filter in a B Series Kubota tractor. Pretty simple process, only takes maybe an hour, and you can have your own oil changed. And if you go step by step, I think I explained it pretty easily, and I think you could do this on your own anytime you wanted. So I would like to tell everyone, thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe. Leave me thumbs up, thumbs down, or a comment if you'd like. Till next time.